Hi guys, welcome back and thank you for joining me for another video. So let's talk about Sunday's coronation concert, which was held in Windsor.
And welcome to the coronation concert.
A huge thank you to everyone for making this such a special evening. King, country, and Commonwealth.
It was viewed by over 100 different countries all around the world, and it was spectacular. I loved it. I really thoroughly enjoyed watching it. There was a little bit of me. I did initially apply for tickets with a friend, but it just wasn't meant to be, like sadly many other people. I'm not sure I would have handled the crowds that well when you actually look at it in reality, the amount of thousands of people that are packed in, but what an experience. I love the performances. I like Ollie Murs. He's a bit more from my generation. You could see Charlotte and George are a bit like who? But then when Nicole Scherzinger came on, the former Pussycat Dolls singer, wow, she literally blew my brain away. She was absolutely amazing. I mean, I knew that she could hold a tune, but she was very, very impressive. I really enjoyed the ballet performance with Romeo and Juliet and Lucy Illingworth. Wow, what an incredibly talented and inspiring young woman. She really did put on a beautiful performance. We had amazing performances by Tiwa Savage, looking like a queen in green. Her earrings had me drooling. We had appearances from Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy, who was hassling the host for a marriage proposal. I got really excited when Tom Cruise came on the screen. I do have a massive girl crush on Tom Cruise. I know there's lots of stuff to do with Scientology, but Tom Cruise as an actor, as an action hero, absolutely love him. He is by far one of the best action heroes ever to exist. And as he dips the plane down to fly away after saying about Charles being his wingman, I couldn't help but go a little bit swoony. Now, Lionel Richie, he of course was one of the big A-listers performance. I was really annoyed. I emphasise A-lister because the Guardian newspaper, who are miserable buggers, had the cheek to turn around and say it was B-list. And I thought, how dare you, with all of those wonderful performances from people. And I just thought it was absolutely disgusting. But then that's the Guardian for you. They would never be happy, even if they'd have handpicked the people. They would have found something to gripe about. But Lionel Richie, he really is a fantastic stage performer. He's still got it. He had everyone up and singing and dancing. Despite being a completely different generation, Lionel even managed to get the royal children up and dancing. We saw the King, we saw Prince Edward, Mike and Zara. They were all shaking their booties. Now, one particular lady who did go viral was Sophie. Get down with your bad self. No embarrassing mummy dancing from Sophie. She had a groove right on. Throughout all the performances, naturally, they kept zoning in on the royal family and they captured Prince William winding up both of his children, where he kept sticking a flag in their faces. At one point, Charlotte looks like she's trying to do a Matrix move just to get away from her annoying father. Now, going from an annoying dad trying to make his kids laugh, Prince William gave a really beautiful speech in honour of his father. And I have to say, when he walked on stage, there was another swoon coming from me. That man really knows how to wear a suit. As part of his tribute, he spoke of how he knows that Queen Elizabeth is up there fondly, keeping an eye on all of them, and she would be a very proud mother. Yep, guess who cried? Me. I own it. I don't care. Yes, I blubbed. Prince William also highlighted service, the pledge of service, a pledge to continue to serve, that his father is dedicated to serving others. From environmental issues, when people laughed at Prince Charles, this is what annoyed me with the Just Stop Oil people trying to disrupt the coronation. King Charles has tried to do more environmentally and drawing people's attention for decades more than when it became a popular thing for people to get on board with. I mean, Charles used to talk to his plants. And as one cute clip pointed out, Charles, when he plants trees, he shakes a branch. Apparently it's a thing. I never knew that. He thanked the military, the nurses, teachers, everyone who serves, and it was truly quite the speech. Lots of buildings lit up across the UK, from the Titanic Museum in Belfast, Edinburgh Castle, Wales Millennium Centre in Cardiff, The visuals from the giant screen across Windsor Castle were absolutely beautiful. But what really did blow my brain was the aerial drone displays. They were absolutely amazing. From seeing flowers opening, to bunny rabbits, to owls, to bees, my favourites. But there was one display that they did that again made me cry. I don't know what's up with me. I've turned 40 and I am literally turning into a sook. I'm getting really soppy. I am just crying all of the time over the most ridiculous things. But it was the moment where they had the whale come up from the big screen and then the drones took over. Absolutely magical. And this definitely adds fuel on my fire to campaign towards having fireworks not banned, but they can be silent, so it helps it, so it doesn't terrify all of nature, wildlife, people with pets, even elderly people, ex-servicemen and women, all of the people that the dangerously loud fireworks upset. Silent fireworks, and if you really want to pull out the big guns and they've got the money to spend, do aerial drone displays. They were really more than ooh, ah, they were just absolutely stunning. Now the concert ended with some big headliners as well. Katy Perry, I'm sure, is not going to particularly appreciate The Guardian calling her B-list. We had Katy Perry and one that I did go a little bit teenage girl at, Take That. I was massively into the Backstreet Boys. I was not listening to my friends. Backstreet Boys from floor to ceiling of posters. But my friends were really into Take That. But as I got older, I actually really started appreciating Take That. So yeah, they take you back watching something absolute pure nostalgia. They truly are pop royalty and they absolutely have still got it. Now, after the performance was done, we have had basically a coronation week. The royals have been out and about. And in one of the big events was the Buckingham Palace Garden Party, where the Prince and Princess of Wales hosted on behalf of the King and appeared alongside the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester, and of course, the lovely Princess Anne. Catherine all this week has been sticking to wearing red, white and blue to match the Union Jack. And in keeping with that, she wore a pale blue Al Saab dress, which we have actually seen before, which was worn at Royal Ascot back in 2019. Catherine looked quite the vision back in 2019, and she also did on Tuesday. She does remind me in this outfit of a modern day My Fair Lady. They look like, I guess it's Prince William in the top hat with his brolly. He looks like he's going to swing around it at any moment and start popping out some tunes. But she looked absolutely wonderful. I wasn't a fan of Sophie's dress, which was really rare for me because Sophie can knock most things out of the park. I found it very Little House on the Prairie, a bit frumpy, definitely not my favourite look on Sophie. The royals spent the afternoon mingling with 8,000 or so odd guests, made up of volunteers, charity and organisation representatives, military personnel and just people that have helped out in their communities. With one particular guest, Dame Elizabeth Watts, who is 93, who has now seen officially 3 coronations in her lifetime, and she confessed that she slept on the pavements for 3 nights to watch Queen Elizabeth. She was only very young and actually had missed King George's because she had measles, so had to listen to his coronation on the radio when she was a child. Now, she truly is what you'd call a die-hard royal fan. She was nominated to attend as she had volunteered for 79 years at St John's Ambulance Service. That is an incredible amount of years to be volunteering. Which then brings me on to the next big subject, and that was the Big Help Out. The Big Help Out, which is a national day of volunteering, encouraging people to sign up and bring communities together. Catherine, William and all 3 children got stuck in with some manual labour on the Big Help Out and were helping renovate a local Scouts hut in Slough. Charlotte was seen painting while George, being a typical boy, headed straight for the power tools and was spotted drilling and helping to make a box. Now, as for Prince Louis, well, he got stuck into absolutely everything. He was everywhere. 1 minute he was helping his mother with putting sand into wheelbarrows to help with the foundations of the new building. He was pushing the wheelbarrow across. He's very independent. He then got involved helping his dad and no doubt giving him directions on doing some of the excavating with a digger. The whole family got involved in an archery lesson, with William typically trying to put Catherine off her aim in their normal standard competitive behaviour that the couple engage in. Princess Charlotte looked like she's done this before. She looked like a pro. And both the boys, well, let's just say that they were both very, very committed with some very serious looks of determination. The whole family also joined in with a good old-fashioned bit of hand paint printing on the walls of the Scout hut. You saw Prince William, who was quite clearly directing Charlotte and George, and then Prince Louis, who decided to do his second handprint alongside his mother. As boisterous as boys can sometimes be, the majority of them are all mummy's boys at heart. Then the real fun came and everyone got stuck into toasting marshmallows and making s'mores. This is an American trend which has only started really becoming more popular in the UK. I know because I went to Brownies and I've camped most of my life. Now it's definitely a trend. Everyone's making s'mores. But it led to a really cute video clip, which naturally I have got for you.
What do you say?
Oh my goodness.
Welcome. I hope you taste it.
You've made his day.
Have I made his day?
Made his day. You won't hear a beep out of him now for about 20 minutes. That is good.
Who else wants marshmallows? You want?
Well, that was a s'mores appreciation video if ever you saw one. Not only did Prince Louis pull a face that most of us do when we have chocolate melted marshmallowy goodness, but we also have Charlotte, who dropped a bit of hers and adhered to the 5-second rule. She was not letting a little bit of it escape. It looked like an incredibly fun day for everyone who was involved, and it was so nice to see Catherine, William with their children after such an official and historical, I guess incredibly formal weekend, dressing down, hanging out with their children and just having a normal family fun day. Now let's shoot over to Montecito, and I'm actually understanding why Meghan might have been without Harry when she went out with her friends on that hike. Harry has been drawing unnecessary attention to himself again, and not just himself, the former love of his life. In Harry's latest court case, he's gone after Piers Morgan. Obviously, that's no great shocker because he gave up his job to call out the lies and hypocrisy of both Harry and Meghan. So Harry is obviously going to be gunning for him because he's very high up on Meghan's hit list. But Harry has also blamed the media about his paranoia and how he lost friends as he cut them out of his life after stories were leaked. He is blaming the media for hacking and leaking stories from voice messages, from bugging him, basically any stories that came out that were negative about Harry that had come out. Harry, if any of his friends' names were quoted, he would flare up at them and he would cut them out of his life. So his dwindling friendship circle and relationship circle is now all down to the media, not because Harry was a jerk at times. So Harry obviously spoke about Chelsea in his autobiography Spec. She was a huge part of his life. She was the first love of his life. But Harry is definitely not earning himself any brownie points with his current wife from bringing up, of course, in Spare that the older woman who was actually younger than Meghan that he slept with. And then, of course, talking about Chelsea and Cressida, he made out that he dumped Cressida when in truth, it turns out that Cressida dumped him. But with Chelsea, she got away in the book relatively unscathed. But in these news reports and stories that's coming out, he's basically saying that he only lost Chelsea. The reason why he's not with Chelsea now is because of media intrusion. Whether you like Meghan or you don't like Meghan, that is pretty hard, tough pill to swallow when your husband, you know, the father of your 2 children, is there again saying that I would still be with this person, my first love, if it wasn't for incidents that happened. Harry said due to the media intrusion and the hacking scandals, he became suspicious of everyone around him and couldn't trust anybody. Even though Harry's saying that now, let's be honest, Harry had a lot more friends and an entire family compared to who he has left now since he's met Meghan. Again, these are all stories that have only come out since Meghan helped him psychedelically clear his windscreen and see the world for truly as how it is. Harry had a social life, he had friends, he had family. Now Harry has Meghan, who I am sure is not going to be happy that Chelsea Davy has been trending across social media under the lines of the one that got away, Harry's one true love and his biggest regret. Something tells me, however, that Chelsea doesn't feel the same, and she is more than happy with her husband and young family. It seems, though, that Harry is determined he is going to blame anyone and everyone for everything in his life. Any misstep, it is down to somebody else. And now even him being dumped at 24 by his first girlfriend. So in another big story, which I briefly mentioned at the end of the last video that came out, J.R. Moehringer, the ghostwriter of Harry's book Spare, or as most of us know it as Spare Us, he's come forward to say that Meghan was absolutely wonderful and Harry was a hothead who seemed to take enjoyment out of winding him up, that he near enough quit, they had arguments, and Harry was incredibly rude and angry the way the story reads. Harry literally argued about everything that he wanted in the book, and they came to a standpoint where he said that he thought he was going to have to walk away from the project. But when Harry backed down, eventually he laughed and said how he enjoyed winding him up. Now that tells you a lot about Harry's personality. He seems to get off in angering people. So when all of this was going on, it was during the pandemic, not helped by the fact that they were separated and he couldn't spend any time really with Harry. It was done via Zoom. So they invited him to stay at their guest house in Montecito, presumably in some sort of bubble that we were all allowed at one point. And he says that when Harry and Meghan went on their walk, Meghan knew that he was lonely and he missed his family, so she would bring him trays of food and sweets all the time to cheer him up. Now, obviously, straight away, anyone that speaks highly about Meghan, it always seems to be someone that she wants something from. She's gone out to lunch with them. She wants them on a podcast. They've got links to politics. Anyone that Meghan has got what she's wanted from are quickly then dumped and end up on the ever-increasing pile of bodies. Meghan does something what many people have said what is a trait with narcissism, and that is love bombing, where they make you think that they're the most fabulous person in the entire world. I myself have experienced love bombing. Many of us have. It takes many shapes and forms. It doesn't necessarily mean you are dating the person. Even friends can love bomb you. And the problem is with Meghan, we've seen it all before, because of when Alison P. Davies, the lady that wrote the Cut magazine article, she came and interviewed Meghan. She was allowed in their humble mansion. And she had been invited to go collect Archie from school, as you do, the privacy-loving couple. You take a member of the media on the school run with security to see the route that you do to pick up your child. But that's neither here nor there. But what Alison writes that happened was when they picked up Archie, Meghan at a stoplight made the car stop and she reached into the trunk and got out a kit. These kits Meghan had been making, they are black rucksacks. They contain a bottle of water, peanut crackers and some granola bars, which Meghan then promptly handed to a member of her security team to walk across the road and to hand to a homeless person that was standing on a street corner. She then turned and said to Alison, just in case Alison hadn't picked up on it, she made sure that Alison wrote this in the article, that they were teaching Archie that some people are born in big houses, some people are born in small houses, and some people are between homes. Now, can you get any more contrived and set up than that? Has anyone seen any footage of Meghan dumping off these kits ever since? Has anyone even heard about that happening? Before? After? No, of course you haven't. It was done deliberately for Alison's benefit to go into the magazine about what a kind and gracious and saintly person Meghan is. So of course she played nice with J.R. Moehringer because he's writing Harry's book. She wants him to say nice things about her. She quite literally sweetened him up, and it paid off because he decided this was the week, the coronation week, to come forward and say that Harry's an argumentative little shit and Meghan's wonderful and so lovely. She, as I said, she quite literally sweetened him up. But as for Harry, if Harry continues to make his ex-girlfriend trend under such headlines as the one that got away and the love of his life, Harry will also find himself in a guest house. But this time, I don't think Meghan will be bringing him trays of sweets somehow. Do you? So that's it, guys. I will be back with you very soon. I am up to something tomorrow, which I will need your help on Monday, and I will tell you all about it and share videos and footage. So I hope that you all have a wonderful weekend, and I will be back next week. No studies, so you should actually be able to see more of me. Take care for now. Bye.